Yo, looks like we're live, Brody.
You know what it is.
You know what it is.
Give them some time to get on in here.
Yeah, man.
All two of you. Go live on Facebook too.
Let's see what Facebook's talking about.
Said, let's see what the Lord says. I gotta mute this, right? So that I don't hear. I'm watching comments. We're live, but I'm watching comments on YouTube.
We're live, but I'm watching. You definitely want to turn the audio off over there.
My bad. There we go. Now we're live. Sorry, I didn't know I got messed around and got a MacBook. I'm not used to it. But I'm still PC. I'm still Android all day long. Y'all know what it is. Good people, you know what it is. We out here.
You know what it is.
We live. Can y'all hear us? Does it sound clear?
We are live on Facebook right now.
I'm going into the comment sections on YouTube.
Oh, well, for the Facebook audience, look, nobody's here, but right now, welcome. You know what
y'all read the title, man. Your drum skills does not equal your self-worth. But before we get into that,
yes,
let's talk about
the sponsors.
The sponsors, Drum Tracks app. Y'all need to download the app. Quit playing.
Yes.
Like for real talk. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everything. Click a notification button so that you know when we upload new videos, new content.
Yes, sir.
And download the app. And if you have already downloaded the app, download it again. Period. Okay, and tell your friends about it.
First of all, listen, I haven't said this on other podcasts. We've alluded to it. We've said things. I'm going to say it straight out to you guys. Listen, what we're doing here with the app, with all of these tracks, with the lessons, with the podcast, everything that we're doing, it's our way of trying to facilitate some type of space for you to find your own creativity and to find your own voice. This is why we talk so much about the things that we talk about, and it's all the way down into the products that we've created, like the Drum Tracks app that many of you use for free, and the reason why we do this content. So Drum Tracks app, we are coming up with a new update. I actually had a conversation on the phone with Apple today, so I might as well fill you guys in on how that went. It was pretty good. We got some things that they didn't understand that we were doing with the app cleared up, and we should be good to resubmit the app in the next 24 to 48 hours. And from there, they do their review, and after they do their review, hopefully it'll be on the Apple App Store. And we're waiting for it to be on the Apple App Store before we release it to Android so that everybody gets it at the same time. So that's what's up with that.
Just release it, at least for the droids, man. Y'all need to come on over to Android, man. That's what needs to happen.
Well, whatever phone you're using, I really don't care. But
what if it's on the tablet?
It's good on the tablets. It's good on iOS tablets and on Android tablets.
Android, baby. Let's go.
All mobile devices. Period.
All right, let's get into it. Your drum skills does not equal your self-worth. We alluded to it on the last podcast, and so let's talk about it. I remember a time when I messed up a long time ago. Because I ain't made mistakes since 2007.
You've made a ton of mistakes. I even think you've made some mistakes before we started this podcast.
So look,
matter of fact,
I
think the amount of mistakes that you've made. So drastic.
Second, listen, it was so bad. The mistake was so bad. I actually wasn't the one that was shameful. It was this guy right here.
I actually remember the exact night that you're talking about.
2000, gig. I would say 2008, or 2007. Anyway, we as a band,
he messed up so bad I went and sat in the car. Okay, put my head down. It was horrible. Yeah. I don't even know if I want you to finish the story. Just bring him so many negative emotions for me.
So what happened was, right before this the problem was we didn't rehearse the new.
No, we did rehearse.
No, we didn't rehearse the new change.
We didn't rehearse the new change.
No,
I don't remember that.
The new change
I don't do stuff without that.
We put the new change in like 2 days before the gig, and it was just an outro. The last song of the concert, we're like, hey, for the outro, we're gonna change just this one little line. Now we went over it in sound check, but we only did it like twice or three times, and that was it. We had it. We did it right. So, needless to say, long story short. At the end of the night, the whole band plays this line. It's a long line that's probably like 2 bars long. And then you're supposed to hit on the one, right? In the middle of the line.
I'm sorry, y'all. I know the story. So I know where this is going. And go ahead. I go keep it
in the middle of the line, I decided to take a solo rather than just play the line.
Okay.
Right? Because it would have sounded cheesy, like
right.
It was like, we're not really about that. So I decided to go ahead and take a solo while they was doing that line. I was like, yeah, but I sped up. And what happened was I sped up to the correct tempo.
What?
And they slowed way down. So I hit on the downbeat of 1. You guys came in way too late. Like I was boom, and then I was like, like way too late. And so he went and sunk his head in shame, and he went and sat in the car. Now explain why you felt so shameful that you were late on the hit.
I think that we need to start with the truth of the story first.
That was the absolute.
Because you're absolutely lying right now.
Don't trade it.
How you gonna bring up the story and not tell the truth? So this is.
I sped up to the correct tempo.
First of all, if we're all playing a certain thing together, and we're all on the right tempo, how do you speed up to the correct tempo? Matter of fact, you even told it wrong when you said that you ended early and then we played after you. No, we ended right and you played a drum hit afterwards. You like crashed on the cymbal where we were supposed to be the finale after us.
Nah.
And all I know is I remember.
So y'all was rushing. Okay, fine.
Oh,
I was on the one,
no.
and you guys rushed it.
You were on someone that you decided was the one at some point in time. Like, I don't know what you were doing.
Buddy, the point is, why did you sink your head in shame? I mean, let's not deal with the semantics of it. I mean, you were wrong, I was right. It doesn't matter. That's not what the point of the video is.
I mean, it's always embarrassing when you perform and you have practiced and you done what you're supposed to do and you mess up in a big way. It's embarrassing. That's understandable. I think most of us have experienced that. But what made it worse for me in this case is I was the MD. So when you're the MD, it's your fault if it goes right. It's your fault if it goes wrong. So I was now embarrassed on the actions of someone else.
No, you wasn't.
And
I actually can see this. I can see the chat. Someone said, Drummer Boy 1993 said, "Stick, stop lying." I am not a liar.
Listen, they can see, they can hear, they can smell your lies from over the internet.
It is definitely D. So continue in your lies.
Okay, so I'm lying. I'm telling the truth. Here we go. At the end of the day, it was. You get to a point. There's nothing wrong with being embarrassed about certain things. Because like, hey, if you're messing up, you especially if you're not prepared, if you're not practicing, you should be embarrassed because you shouldn't be out there trying to perform if you don't rehearse or practice or do what you're supposed to do. But the problem comes in when you tie how good you are at your instrument or how well you've performed to your value as a human being.
I know some people.
And that night,
you think you suck as a person?
Yes,
because you sucked on your instrument.
That night, I definitely felt that way. I felt like I was an utter failure as an MD because
when you coming off beat, you should feel shame.
Because the drummer was trash that night.
You know what? You lucky we can't edit this because I was gonna say something that we could bleep out later, but we can't bleep it out later now.
Well, that's just hopefully prohibits you from lying some more.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna use this microphone. How about that?
At the end of the day, Brody, that's what happened. So the problem wasn't that I was upset that he messed up, even though we had rehearsed. The problem was I
didn't mess up. Can you just continue?
There's no way for us to get to the point without you lying like this.
Can you stop taking forever to get to the point?
Oh my God!
Tell the truth. Keep going. Let's go. Come on.
See this, right? This is what I deal with in real life in real time.
Goodness gracious!
He's talking to the YouTube audience, so I'm looking at you guys on Facebook, all 8 of you. This is what I deal with. Now, the problem comes in is because I felt that night, like I remember people were coming up and talking to the singers and talking to the musicians and saying how much they liked the show, but I was in the car because I was just super embarrassed and felt like I couldn't face them. Felt like I was not, it was attached to who I was and my inherent value as a human being, and it shouldn't be. That's the thing, right? And that was, how long ago was that at this point?
That was 11. It had to be 11. Ago? Well, yeah, because I think it was 2008.
Yeah,
because that's how, because we didn't perform in, did we perform How High in 07? I don't think so. I think it was 08.
I think it was 08.
Yeah. It was before we did the merge summit and all that in 2000. Yeah,
that was 09. Thank God that was in '08, right? That we did that in '08, because when we did '09, we was ready for him.
Yeah, that part.
So I mean, at the end of the day, that's the thing that we want to talk about. We've seen so many musicians over time who attach, not just musicians, but artists in general, people who do creative things. You see it on social media where people put up a picture, and if it doesn't get a certain amount of likes in a certain amount of time, then they take it down. You know, things like that, where they attach and some people even feel depressed and really internalize the idea that, well, they didn't like what I did, so I'm not good enough. They didn't like what I created, so that means that they don't like me, or I'm inherently not good. You see what I'm saying? Or I'm a good musician and I had a bad night though, and so the people weren't on me like they were before, or I was getting a lot of attention for being a good musician, but this guy just showed up from out of town and he's killing. And now, where does that leave me? Where is my position? Am I not valuable anymore? Type situation. And when that stuff starts to happen, that's when you're like, that's when you really got to look at where you're placing your value and your self-worth, because you can't put it on your instrument. You can't put it on the things that you do. What you do is not who you are.
Well, see, that's a message for the church, Bishop. I mean, because people put value of their life based on how much money they make,
True,
the type of car they drive,
true,
the house that they have. How many? Well, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say something. We're not gonna say that, but how much stuff that they have and how valuable that stuff is to them.
Right.
So it's like the best shoes, not just some Skechers from Walmart. It's like, he ain't got it. So
right.
That's the message that you preaching. We can fire up the organ if you want. I can play in one key.
Halfway? Well,
halfway in one key.
At the end of the day, I just think that's the thing. Like, what's one experience, or for musicians that you've seen that's happened to, and what is it? Or even in your own experience, at what point did you make that switch where you were like, you know what? It's okay that I'm not where I want to be on my instrument. Doesn't mean that I'm a horrible person or I'm not worthy of being who I am or existing on the planet. You know what I'm saying?
Mine was 2008. when I ended on the one and y'all didn't, I said,
bro.
that's it. I have seen it in some of the little homies, where if they make a mistake or do something that's not, they consider that's not dope. They tried something, didn't come out.
Right.
And I'm in the room, they don't make eye contact with me. They kind of just, have their head down, and I'll walk up, hey bro, what's good? Like, what's going on? Man, I got nervous when you came in. I said, I'm not even worried about that. But I do understand. I understand the mentality of when a drummer comes in, and a drummer that you respect, or a musician, because there may be some people who are not playing drums that watch us. That comes in that you respect, and that person knows what you're trying to go for. You're overthinking, thinking what they're thinking about. Like, oh, he probably think that was whack or that was trash. And the whole time that I was listening to him, I didn't even pay attention to that one little mistake. Or let's say you make 4 mistakes out of the entire 7 songs that he played.
Right.
I was actually sitting back like, look at Brett, he in there, right? His groove is getting stronger. His drum fills, his choice, his placements, they're getting a little bit more mature. Like, yo, this is dope. But in his mind, man, when I try to do that one lick in song 3 on the bridge, I'm terrible. And so for the rest of the night, he barely looked at me until I spoke to him after. And I was like, bro, let it go. We all make mistakes. It's just like in sports. I played basketball. I'm pretty sure you played ball before too. You don't make every shot, but what they tell you,
I don't know what you're talking about. I do.
Bro, you shot from 2 feet from the basket. You was backing people down. That don't count.
My drop step was solid. Go ahead.
Sound like Shaq. I'm not 98% from the field. Period. Bro, you gotta stop.
They was all dunks, bro.
They was all dunks.
It was all dunks. The fact that you're not 100% from the field is a problem.
That's where the issue lies.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you don't make every shot, and the things that my coaches used to tell me was keep playing. Like, you missed it, get back on. Like, there'll be another one. So if you make that mistake, don't put your head down. Keep playing. But I also understand there is a certain demographic of people who make mistakes all the time and be out here looking like they killing. So you don't want to be that guy where you have the persona of I'm in there, I'm killing, and you're constantly making horrible mistakes.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the people who think like this, as far as I'm a terrible person because my lick is trash or my groove is trash or the thing I tried to do is terrible, those people are usually not the others that are, are always making mistakes. It's just small mistakes. It's like, bro, it's a small mistake. Keep playing.
So the whole thing to me is the way to get over that though is where you have to get to a place where you shut out both.
Is your computer about to die?
It's not about to die. No, but I got the charger. I'm all good. They see me getting the charger. Those who are watching the live. Anyway, check it out. This is what you got to do.
Plug in your.
Give me a second. I'm gonna plug it in. Give me a second. Here's the thing.
I'm gonna get to your comments after.
Here's the way to kind of avoid the highs and the lows, because it's a roller coaster, right? You'll find yourself high because you performed well or you played well or people are praising you, all of that, and you're good. You're up on cloud 9 at the peak of the mountaintop. Then there'll be another day you play another gig and you're not at the top of the mountaintop. You might have flubbed a lick in your solo or you did something or whatever the case is, and you feel low and you go home and you want to punch yourself when you're looking at yourself in the mirror. The thing you have to do is find a way to stay neutral. Where you don't. What's so funny?
I just imagine
looking at yourself in the mirror.
I just imagine somebody in there, like with a serious face. You suck. You suck. You suck. Like, bro, what are you doing?
For those who are going to be listening on the audio only version of the podcast, he was literally socking himself in the face. Anyway,
bro, that's good.
You got to find a way to shut out the voices on both ends of the spectrum. You can't listen to too much of the good either. That's the only way to be able to avoid too much of the bad. Now, I'm not saying
which voice are you referring to?
I'm talking about like when you have a great performance,
okay,
and you allow that to go to your head. When someone comes up to you and there's people coming up to you and you're getting all this attention, positive attention because you perform so well and you feel like you're a cool guy now. Because look, at the end of the day, that's what it is. You're like, I want to be cool, so I play well so that the guys that I want to like me will like me, right? Or they'll think that I'm in that in crowd of the top guys. And so somebody come that you've been respecting a lot and they compliment you, and now you don't just feel like, oh man, I did good as a player. No, you feel like I'm a cool person now.
Why you do a third grade voice?
Because that's literally what happens in everybody's head. You know that. So,
what about the voices in their head?
We are digressing, Bishop.
I'm saying you said don't listen to the voices.
We are digressing.
Okay.
So
that's another podcast, part 2.
So if you let that sink in and control how you feel, then when the negative voices come, that will also control how you feel. You have to.
The camera's up there.
Oh,
you're looking at this camera.
I was looking at the battery life, but you have to you have to be able to not take in too much of the good or too much of the bad. And that doesn't mean that you don't listen to constructive criticism, because that's necessary. And that's a tricky thing. We talked about it in the last podcast, the constructive criticism aspect, because you can attention and you can tell most people who actually genuinely care about what they're saying to you, and not someone who's just ego driven coming to try to pound their chest because they feel like they're above you in some way. But
I know some of them too.
But at the end of the day, I feel like if you can avoid being too high and also avoid being too low and find yourself in this middle ground that's pretty neutral all the time, when it comes to your playing, you don't let it affect your ego, and you find sense of self-worth and value outside of the music, outside of what you're doing, it will make it easier. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, you shouldn't care what anybody thinks.
And now I'm about to plug up the computer.
Okay. You shouldn't care what anybody thinks. Don't let anybody's opinion sway you, because just like you said, if somebody who says something positive about you boosts you up, then as soon as someone says something negative about you, it's going to tear you down. So don't care what anybody thinks. I say, yeah, stay out your own head, but that's another podcast for another day. I want to hit a couple of these comments that you guys have left here on YouTube. I don't know if you got any on Facebook.
We got a couple. We got Rafael Hispan. What's up, fam? He just basically saying what's up to his favorite drum coaches. That's what's good.
That's what most of these. Let me shout out some of y'all on here. I don't know if y'all still here, but let me shout out the people who said what's up. Hills Lionel, Jazil,
what's good, fam?
Mayaz or Mayos. Was it Mayaz? M-A-O-Z.
Just keep going.
Just keep going. Of course, Drummer Boy 1993, who said that Damani was lying, not Sticks. What up? You know what it is.
You guys go back and read the chat. He's lying.
Shout out to AD. Shout out to Willie Smooth Cat. He even said fire up the keyboard, Doc. I mean, come on now.
Listen,
you know what it is.
I felt my help just a little bit.
Someone asked a question that's off subject. Willie Jimerson. Shout out to you for even being on here.
Okay.
Off subject, real quick. What heads do you use to get that fat sound? Hashtag all the way through. The heads on the it depends on which video you watched.
Right, on which kit?
On the old videos, on the kit that's behind me, it was Force 10 clears on the toms. Now it's
reflectors.
The white reflectors on the toms. On the snare drum, depending on which snare you was listening to.
Aquarian. Go ahead.
It's all Aquarian. Yeah.
Aquarian.
Depending on which snare drum you're listening to, when he's playing on his snare, it's a texture coated, single ply texture coated.
Because you know what it
is. On my snare, on the blue acrylic snare, I have a Performance 2 clear. Aquarian. All right.
Let me highlight a couple people on this side.
Yeah,
we got
go ahead.
Frank, man. He says, congrats on your first Facebook podcast. You guys got to come to New Zealand for some clinics. Also with Mino Yancey. Listen, if you can make Mino Yancey happen in New Zealand, we'd love to come.
Brody, for the low price of $18,000 just for the drummer. I think that we can make some arrangements. You know what I mean? I'll see if my schedule opens up.
With us doing clinics, man. Like if you guys would like to see us in your area and you got someone that can help put that together, man, send us an email, man. And
MinoYancey@gmail.com.
And if you just want us to come out as the Drum Tracks app, you can hit me up at damani@drumtracksapp.com. So
y'all know what it is.
I'll type that in the comments.
Somebody asked this question and Drummer Boy 1993 answered it. He asked, what does MD mean? It means musical director.
Oh yes, musical director.
He answered it. Is Drummer Boy, is that Drummer Boy Aaron?
Who?
Drummer Boy 1993. Is that Drummer Boy Aaron?
I don't know. If it is him is that the one who asked what MD was? He knows that.
No, he answered.
Oh.
He answered. All right, I got a question. Hey guys, I got a question. This is from Dorama the Drummer. I think I said that right. Hopefully I'm not messing up y'all's names. Dorama the Drummer says, hey guys, I got a question. I can do doubles on the kick, but when it comes to doing fast singles on the kick, my foot is all slow and sluggish. Any tips on speeding up your singles on the kick? Kick, drum, kick. Yeah, I was like kick.
Okay, so the way you read that didn't lead me to understanding what the question was.
He wants to know how he can improve his singles on his kick drum.
Man, we could take it old school, like, and just say play singles on your kick drum until you can't play singles on your kick drum anymore. Like, it really be that simple sometimes, right? Yeah. You sit down at the kit and you go until you can't, and then you stop, and then you go, all right, give it a 2-minute rest and come back and go. Or you can set it's always good to set the metronome because then you can control the tempo. You could do it because sometimes we could do that at a fast tempo, but we cannot do it at a slow tempo or a slower tempo. You realize you start losing control. It's not even that you lose speed, you start losing control at a certain tempo. So if you can do it at, I don't know, 70 BPM and you're just like at 16th notes or whatever, and then slowly take it up from there and practice doing them. Like the best way to learn how to do something that you can't already do is to do it until you can. And sometimes it's just ridiculously hard.
That part. What I did for some kick control, I mean, of course, there's a bunch of books for kick control, but let's say you don't have all the books. Yeah. If you have a basic beginner's book that teaches how to count eighth notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th triplets, all the basic subdivisions, they're usually written on the snare drum where it's like, oh, here's a page of eighth notes to 16th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and stuff like that. Read that, play a basic beat on your hands, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then read that snare part for your kick drum. So your foot is do 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 do. And what that does is it teaches you control, because sometimes after you've done that, because I actually started doing that first, where it's just you can do that when you're just doing that straight, but then when you start throwing in some rest and all that, it throws you off. So to practice those rests, I would read pages that have 8
and even and put a beat to it. Put the snare on a backbeat on 2 and 4 while you're doing that type of thing.
Yeah, that's why I said keep the cat.
Okay. Yeah.
all day long. And then you can do the same thing when you read eighth note triplets, 16th note triplets. There are some pages where it mixes quarters with the 16ths and the eighth notes. Those ones are even better. The more subdivisions that you have on the page is the best. So if you can find a page that has quarters, eighths, 16ths, triplets, and 16th note triplets, I say do that.
For the win. Hold on, I got another comment here.
Okay.
We got Gerard L. Breland. He's just shouting us out saying what's good.
You know what it is.
Wait a minute. At the bottom it says, "Give me a shout out and a signed T-shirt."
Signed.
Listen, we don't even have T-shirts. Let me ask this question for everybody that's on YouTube and for everybody that's on Facebook. If we made Drum Tracks merch, T-shirts or whatever, would y'all even be interested in something like that?
And what would you like to see on the T-shirt?
Let us know in the comments, man, because you know we got a whole lot of hashtag sayings. But would y'all even want a T-shirt like that?
They want the New Year's. They for sure want the New Year's.
Turn up.
They want that joint for sure. Somebody said Bishop Sticks. Y'all know what it is. And Deacon Damani, wow. How y'all doing? So you are the deacon, and it's my church.
Okay.
You know what it is out here.
You can have it, Bishop. Okay.
So donate your offerings to my Cash App. DM me, and I was telling you my Cash App information. By the way, where is the Mino Yanti album? Because it disappeared online. This is from Drummer Boy 1993.
Okay, let me answer that. The Mino Yanti album, we had to pull it off of the streaming platforms in order to fix the name because it had apostrophes in the original name, but I myself put them in the wrong place. So what we're doing to make it easier for everyone to search for us is we're just getting rid of the apostrophes, period. It's just going to be Mino Yanti with no apostrophe, and that should be live back onto the Spotify and Apple Music, all of that, on August 28th.
All right.
And we just dropped a new single too, by the way, called Shovel, SHO-VEL. It's brand new. It's not on the streaming services yet. It will be September 3rd, but it is on Bandcamp. So you could go to minoyancy.bandcamp.com and listen to the song right now.
There you go.
And it's free to stream and free to download. That just seems like we do a lot of that, don't we?
That part.
A lot of that free to stream stuff.
Shout out to J3T Canball. J3T Canball. Shout out to you. He says, y'all taught me my first drum fills.
Dope. That's
shout
amazing.
out to us. So yeah, that's what's up.
Shout out to you.
LD says, where do I get the drum lessons? The drum tracks won't allow me to do anything else other than listen to the tracks. You must have got here a little bit late.
Let's let them know what's up.
So on the new update,
right,
when it drops,
right,
there will be lessons on the app. But as of now, we are waiting on Apple to approve of the app update. That's all. We're waiting on Apple. Okay?
And I had a conversation with them on the phone today, like I said earlier in the podcast. However, once the new version of the app drops, you will have access to the videos. Not all of them. Many of them will. Some of them will be free to stream, but to get access to our entire library of drum lessons, 300 plus videos, right?
Yeah, that part.
It's only going to be 10
in front of me.
Okay, it's only going to be $10 a month. Starting off, that's what we're starting out at the introductory price, man. We're trying to show some love to people who've been rocking with us for a long time and making it pretty cheap for everybody to get in. There'll also be a lot more other perks that come with that, but we'll get into that on another. We might even just do a quick live one day to talk about it, man, and answer questions for you guys.
Y'all know what it is. Blake Great said, I want a shirt that says Enrique More. Say no time, man. Happy New Year, man. Y'all know what it is out here. Yes. He knows what it is, bro. You feel me?
Oh my goodness. This guy.
Willie Smoothcat says, do the you know what it is. Enrique
took me out. We'd have to get we can get with Eric and see if he wants, you know what I'm saying?
That part. It's his name. Willie Smoothcat says, do the you know what it is shirt.
You know what it is.
He wants that one.
Period.
He said, yeps. Aaron Shields says, yep, sweaters, all that. Oh, sweaters. He wants sweaters for everything that we do.
That'd be dope, man. Like some hoodies and stuff.
Shout out to Chris Jordan II. Yeah, hoodies would be fire, actually.
Yeah. I mean, they're not hard to do. We might even be able to have something up in a week or so. We'll see what happens if you guys really want it.
Chris Jordan says, I actually got done with today's workout on the drum camp. I really appreciate what y'all are doing because it really has helped me grow a ton as a drummer.
I don't know about you, bro, but every time I hear about how somebody's getting better because of the stuff that we put together, it just makes me feel great. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's what's up. I just
What happened? What's so funny?
I'm gonna let you read it, bro.
Read what?
There's someone that has been featured on our podcast on one of our last podcasts.
Okay.
And he left a comment.
Let's see.
I want you to read this one here. Read it out loud so people know what you're laughing at. Read it out loud from Anthony Ty Johnson.
Anthony Ty, we just had him on the podcast. Shout out to you, bro. By the way, I don't know if you know, but the clip that we posted with one of our podcasts with Anthony did pretty well on IG. But
read what he wrote you.
Hi, it's Drummer Guy 86. You guys have listen. If you haven't watched that, listen to that podcast or watched it. Go back and
watch it.
Look at that podcast. Not only was it hilarious, we had a great time. Anthony Ty is very, very, very smart dude. Had a lot of gems to drop. You got to watch that podcast. I'm still cutting up content from that podcast to repost because it was really good. Anyway, Drummer Guy 86 is a character that Anthony Ty has created for
and
control us.
And let me say this, because if you put that on IG for any reason, keep this part in there. This is no diss to my mans that follow me who name is Drummer Guy 75, bro. There's a guy that follows me named Drummer Guy, and I follow him back too. There's no diss to you. That was a character made up by Anthony Ty.
My goodness.
He probably doesn't follow you, so he doesn't know. But he's never asked for a PDF of anything.
for the sticking and all.
None of that.
Drummer
I mean,
Guy
he's asked for some honest critique, feedback in the DM, and I've given it to him, and that's it. You know, he's not the guy that asked for PDF.
By the way, Anthony Ty does have an album out on Spotify and all of that.
Does.
Yes, I actually checked it out and listened to it.
That he does. What is it? What's the name of it?
I forget the name of the album.
I think it's self-titled. Anthony Ty Johnson.
Anthony Ty. Type in the name of your album, man.
Yeah, Brody. If you're still here,
so they can see it.
Type it in here on YouTube.
He is a certified jazzer.
Ashton Nelson says, "I feel my help."
Oh my God! I felt the anointing right there, Bishop. Out of nowhere.
It's called. He said,
what did he say?
Anthony says we're fake fans. It's called Personality. The album's called Personality. So check that out. Fake fans, man.
No, I really did.
I have the actual CD.
I don't have the CD. I listened to it on Spotify. I listened to the entire album though. I did.
Drummer Boy 1993. I need 2 shirts. One that says "Turn Up, Happy New Year's, baby." You know what it is.
Okay.
And the other one is "My God Today."
Listen,
it's quiet. Something. You got some comments on Facebook.
We got a few. Raphael asked, "Do we plan to do another shed camp, maybe with fit speed exercises?"
No, I'm kidding. Yes, we have another camp. Excuse me. Hey, listen, I'll keep it a buck with you. We shot the second camp. This time we didn't have any cameramen. We did it ourselves, set the cameras up, and when we watched it back, the videos wasn't.
We said, nah.
We can't. It looked like it was shot on a flip phone, man. We can't do that to y'all. We couldn't do it. We couldn't do it to y'all.
We're reshooting it again.
We're reshooting that. There'll be some other. There's a new series that will be coming out on the app, which will feature a combination of hand speed and foot speed together. Those will be the do the work mini camp. Yes. So yes, we will have those coming soon. Just bear with us, man. We're doing it ourselves. Not looking for sympathy, but it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work.
We're definitely putting in the work, man. We appreciate you guys' support and those of you guys who are following us. We probably will, since you guys are asking for the t-shirts and stuff, we'll make them available. We won't be able to give them away. They will be for sale.
Yeah, man. I mean, low price for $75 to $100 per shirt.
Per pair of socks.
Per pair of socks.
Okay.
But we will, once we get those going, we will start accepting pre-orders. So we're gonna need your sizes and things of that nature. So when that happens, you're gonna hear about it first here on the podcast. So turn on post notifications.
And we're gonna be going live. We've decided we're gonna go live to do these podcasts twice a week. And yeah, I know, right? And I'm gonna start bringing
every Monday and Thursday.
Monday and Thursday. Our goal is to start at 2:30 p.m.
Pacific Standard Time.
Pacific. So it
might start at 3 p.m.
Give us a 15 to 20 minute, because we got to run, as we set up the webcam and everything, and got to make sure everything is working. But the idea is for us to start at 2:30, run this podcast, man, every Monday and Thursday.
Y'all know what it is. So we'll see y'all in 3 days, basically.
All right, fam.
Unless you have any more. Do you have any more comments before we go?
Checking the last comments.
Willie Smoothcat says, I love that you guys are starting to go live now. Y'all need to do this more often. Well, yep. That's why we're doing it twice.
What we just said.
Yes. Well, he probably already typed that, and I
you just didn't listen.
Do you have any more before
I
we
just
get out
told
of
you
here?
that we good. Raphael just says great. He's gonna wait for the camps and everything.
Okay,
So
Thursday, 2:30 post. Not post.
Listen, if you guys really, this is
2:30
we always ask you guys to hashtag all the way through to hashtag. You know what it is, all of that. This is what I'm asking. If you really are digging this podcast and you really think that it's dope and valuable, I'm asking you guys to share it with somebody that you know that you feel would think this is valuable. If you know another musician, let them know what we're doing. Let them know that there's these cool guys that that are going live and talking drums and they're keeping it real.
One last comment. And this is it. If y'all typing, I'm not reading no more. Blake Great says, is there any way, you should put the in the middle, but okay, Blake Great, is there any way I can make my hands go changalang?
Changalang,
changalang. For not a long period of time without cramping, I stretch and everything. I would say, first of all, that's a great question for Anthony Ty, who changalangs the dog mess out of a ride cymbal, in a good way, not like it's bad. I would say use more finger technique to not cramp up. Don't grip your stick too tight. So use your fingers. Let the bounce actually bounce, but control it. Don't just be dragging the stick on the ride cymbal because that sounds sloppy. It sounds terrible. But let the bounce do what the bounce is supposed to do. So control the bounce. So that's the last comment over here. We're gonna see y'all on Thursday.
Yep. So
hopefully 2:30 post meridian Pacific Standard Time. Latest 3 post meridian Pacific Standard Time. We will be up by 3 p.m.
Right. All right, y'all. So to Facebook, we thank you guys. We're gonna end on Facebook first. So we'll catch y'all next time. Peace
out to the Facebook people.
Yep.
Y'all know what it is out here.
And for our YouTube fam, we're gonna catch y'all on the next one. All right. Peace.
Deuces.